Hi everybody, Sanibonani. Welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me again kule video leni. Igama lami nguNtando Mdletshe, and on this channel siyazifunde incwadi ebhalwe ngolimi lwethu bese siza la sizoxoxa ngazo le story lezi esisuke sikade sifunde ngazo, sixoxela abantu phela abanqenayo ukufunda futhi abangenaso isikhathi sokuthi bayifunde le ncwadi. Siyasibuya-ke futhi sizodiscussa any issues lana esisuke khona evukile ngenkathi sifunda zona le story and relate those issues to real life. Lawo ma-videos siwabiza ngokuthi ama-notes to the writer. Now and then-ke kodwa ngike ngenza ama-videos about personal experiences with the hope ukuthi some of the things that I've gone through and some of the things that I've learned nami nje njengomuntu, when I share them, other people can use them in their own lives, or it can remind them of certain stories and we can relate to each other. It's a bit of a get to know me while we help each other. A very difficult pill. Anything that we can do to help each other, so put one foot in front of the other, we will do. So-ke isho engizokhuluma ngayo namhlanje ipromptwe istory nje lesi esikade sisifunda, especially when it comes to ukukhulisa abantwana. So I'll give you a bit. I'm sure for me clearly video uzobona ukuthi ngikhuluma ngani. Mina, a lot of people don't know ukuthi from my grandfather. My grandfather waye umuntu wesithembu. My grandfather was a polygamist. He had 2 wives. Kodwa le story lesi angizokhuluma istory se-family, ngizokhuluma about my story and my experience within istory life story sikamkhulu wami nogogo bami. And then ekugcineni hopefully uzoyithola ipoint le engifuna ukuyidlulisa, ngidlulisa kuwena mlaleli. Mina okay, ngowakaMdletshe mina, which ngizalwa uMaNgcobo. Okay, so komalume wami ikaNgcobo, meaning ukuthi umkhulu wami-ke, okay, obviously uMgcobo. Kodwa kusho ukuthi growing up iside ebesi-close, njengabantu abaningi-ke, iside ebesi-close kakhulu kulona ekhaya iside lakomalume, which is kaNgcobo. You know, abantu baye baposte la ku-Facebook bathi, guys, what is wrong with the father's side? Because everybody always has an issue with the father's side. I'm one of those people because we are not very close to abantu baseside. We have certain members of the family that we love very much, that we're close to, that we are in touch with. But for the most part, yeah, it's one of those things where you're like, yes. So growing up, we grew up mostly from east side, like Bukama. So all of the love that we got, all of the teachings that we got, everything that is me comes from east side, Ligama. Because that's where we grew up. That's where we spend most of our time. We spend our time with our aunts. We spend our time with our uncles, with our cousins. So konke nje esiyikona kakhulukazi it's at that side, and that's the side of the family esisaphothana nalo mostly. If I say I need help, that's the side of the family that I would mostly go to because ibona abantu abaclose kakhulu kuthina. So growing up, okay, obviously komalume bekwakhiwe ngendlela yesiZulu. You know, back then bekwakhiwe ngendlela yesiZulu, izindlu so round. I think there was 1, 2, 3, 4, according to memory mina enginayo, around 4 or 5 round, and then nendlu enkulu. And mina, I'm one of the younger grandchildren zikamkhulu nogogo. Okay, so-ke obviously ama-memories enginawo abo mafishane kakhulu because they died when we were very young. But ama-memories enginawo abo are very positive and are full of love kahle kahle. So growing up komalume wami bekunomkhulu, and then kunogogo about 2. And growing up, I knew and then this one grandmother was my mother's biological mother. For some reason, I was able to understand that as a child, that this grandmother is my mother's biological mother. And then this other grandmother, Mabetu, they called the Umamkulu. But as a child, I never really felt a need to ask ukuthi, this grandmother, who was she? Who was she? All I knew about this grandmother was that she was my grandmother. She was all of us's grandmother, and that she loved us very much, and that she loved us lokweconsi, and uyabona uma ufikile komalume mawungena esangweni indlu yakhe futhi ibingasesangweni, so mawufikile komalume uvakashile ungena esangweni, you must start at her house khona uzofika udle, because if you didn't eat endlini yakhe, then it would be a problem. So that as children, that's all that we knew, that she was also one of our grandmothers. But there was no need for us to ask how come we have two grandmothers and we have one grandfather. And growing up, that household had a lot of love. There was a lot of love. There was a lot of laughter. Ukuxoxa kwey'nganekwane from okhulu, from o-aunty, because ugogo, okay, there was umkhulu, no gogo. The grandmother, there was my mother's biological mother, had four children. So it was my two aunts, my uncle, and my mother. But my uncle, I don't know if he died the year that I was born, so I've never met him. I don't remember. I don't have any memory of my uncle who is a third born, but his wife has always been there. So growing up, I even thought that she was my mother's sister, because that's how we lived. All four of them were all our mothers. They raised us together. They raised each other's kids. They helped one another. It was just that kind of a family, Uma ufuna uthando, ubufuna ukuya komalume. That's how it was. That's just how it was. But uh, growing up, even issues that came up in the family later on, they came after those three people, which was my grandfather and the two grandmothers had passed. So obviously, as we are growing up, and that's when sebayashona sebayahamba. Every time we speak about them, we speak about the three of them. And as in cooler, that's when you start asking, who was this grandmother? I don't want to say her name because obviously, who was this grandmother? Only very later on, Nkolile, did I find out ukuthi both the grandmothers were my grandfather's wives, which is something growing up. I didn't know that they were both his wife. And what I really realized was that as a kid, I never felt a need to ask who who is she, because all that I knew from her was love. All that I knew from her was that she was our grandmother too. So the reason that I'm sharing this story is because I just want to share it so that people understand that when kids are growing up, honestly, all that kids need is love. All the things that we think are going to confuse kids when they're growing up, when if kids are loved and they are supported in the family, they don't need any more. They don't need, there's nothing more that they need except love and support. I never questioned who she was, because all she gave to me, all she gave to my other cousins and my sisters was love. Only later on did I realize that, oh, she was my grandmother, but she was the second wife. She was the first wife to my grandfather. Apparently, the story is my grandfather married her, but they didn't have kids. So then he took my mother's biological mother as the second wife. So, and then had my mom and his siblings. So there was the reason that he ended up with two wives. But this is the thing that really made me think about this point, was that I've heard so many times people say, especially when it comes to gay and lesbian relationships, when people are married, or even if they're not married but they're deciding to have children, people will make comments that say that, kids are going to be confused. Who are they going to call a mother? Who are they going to call a father? How do you raise a kid with two mothers? Listen, guys, all the children need is love and support. By the time they're old enough to actually see, okay, that family has a father, that family has a mother. It won't matter that as much as we think it will matter to them, because all that the children are looking for is love. If a child is loved and a child is supported, that is all that we need from our society, and that is all that we should be encouraging in our society, to say that if people can provide these things for the kids, then let them have kids. Let them have kids. Imagine if somebody said that, in a family where there is polygamy, you can't raise loved kids. We were loved, guys. We were loved in that environment. We were loved. I could never get in a relationship where I'm the second wife or whatever for me, but I know for myself that in that family, my grandmothers loved us. Both of them loved us, and for us, it didn't even matter. We didn't even think to ask who the second wife, first wife was. As a child, I know for myself, as a child, I was just happy to have the two grandmothers, because both of them expressed love for me. I want to share this because I want people to know that, to recognize that what is important when we are raising kids is love and support. Love and support. Whether they get love and support from two females, love and support from two males, love and support, but all the children need is love and support. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you learned something, and that ebengifuna ukukudlulisa namhlanje ngikwazile ukuthi ngikudlulise. Thank you so much. Ngizonibona kwivideo yami elandelayo.